Well, everyone, the Nintendo Switch 2 was just kind of announced by Nintendo, which is really, really cool. I remember when the Nintendo Switch was announced, the Switch Lite and the Switch OLED, and this release was very interesting. No words were spoken, it was literally just the console itself just kind of being portrayed. Now, we don't have any details on exactly what this particular console is going to be bringing internally, but we do have some interesting things that Nintendo kind of threw out in this particular console. So, number one, a big thing to keep in mind here is that we are now getting somewhat of a larger console. So coming from the original Nintendo Switch, it looks like this thing is going to be giving us a larger screen. And with that bigger screen, it's probably going to be high resolution to accommodate for it. I would assume it's going to be 1080p. I'm not too sure if it's going to be OLED or if it's going to be LCD. I'm pretty sure it's going to be OLED, but I think it's going to be around the same type of framing as something like a Nintendo Switch OLED. On top of that, what's really interesting is that it reminds me a lot of the Steam Deck. It looks like these Joy-Cons are now black in color, but they're going to have colors around those Joy-Cons themselves, like the joysticks. So that's going to be interesting. It looks like with the way Nintendo was kind of portraying the Joy-Cons, now maybe they're going to be using optical sensors instead. So hopefully that goes through and kind of removes that Joy-Con drift that people were experiencing like crazy. And with those Joy-Cons, they now magnetically attach to the console itself. So they're no longer a slide mechanism. They actually kind of go through and you connect them in just by going through and like magnetically clasping them. Now, I think this is an interesting approach. I've seen some other portable gaming consoles kind of have this now too. I do think this is also a way for them to maybe somehow combat some sort of like jailbreaking or modding of Nintendo Switches, just like how we saw before. So I think that's something that could end up happening here too. Now, big thing to keep in mind, the Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible with Nintendo Switch 1 games. So if you're going to go through and get a Nintendo Switch 1, or Nintendo Switch 2, these particular devices, they should be kind of, around the same thing. So they're going to be giving you the exact same type of capability there, which is actually very, very cool. Now, the really interesting thing here is if we take a look at the top portion of this console, this particular console is still giving you a headphone jack, it's still giving you a charging port, still giving you the capability to dock it, everything like that is the same. But there's another USB port at the top of this console. So it was very interesting because it is a USB Type-C port. I'm very curious to see what this particular port entails. Is it a way for us to go through and maybe like display it onto a TV without the dock natively, without accessories? Is it a way for us to go and just connect Nintendo Switch accessories in it? Is it a different way to charge it? It would be interesting if Nintendo had some sort of like proprietary port, which was like specifically only for the Switch. But the fact that they used a USB Type-C port, I think this in and of itself is a very, very interesting thing. On the backside, we still have that kickstand, which should still be able to come out, and we can go ahead and, kind of play games with it and everything like that. The Joy-Cons can still go through and disconnect as always. You can still play them with multiple players. And now it looks like with the Joy-Cons themselves, they have now had a little bit of an improvement where now we can go through and basically, I think they look a little bit nicer. The buttons protrude a little bit more. I am curious to see how easy it is to remove the Joy-Cons though. And if you just like snap them out of place, if there's a button on the back, it looks like there was, but that is going to be something else that's going to be interesting to see. And there is significantly less bezel on the Nintendo Switch 2, coming from the original Nintendo Switch as well. So there are a lot of improvements when you're looking at the Nintendo Switch, even the OLED Nintendo Switch, and you're looking at it compared to this Nintendo Switch. There's a lot of improvements. I'm very excited to see what's going to end up happening here in the future. This particular console is going to be announced and released April 2nd, so we still have a little bit of time, but that's basically how the Nintendo Switch 2 kind of compares against the Nintendo Switch, the original one. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.